Have you ever played a game that literally none of your friends have heard of? Well, for me, this is that game. Hey guys, Matt here, and today we're going to be talking about a game that I had no idea existed until the PS4 came out. So enough chit chat, let's get into it. HAZE is a first-person sci-fi shooter developed by FreeRadical and published by Ubisoft that released exclusively for the PS3 in 2008. Leading up to the release, this game was being called the Halo Killer, and learning about that little fun fact after playing the game made me laugh my ass off. However, this game had two great things going for it leading up to the time of release. It had a pretty interesting concept, and two, being that it was going to be developed by the guys that made Time Splitters, which was an amazing first-person shooter back in the PS2, GameCube, Xbox era. Okay, so they had a good idea, and it was made by a company that made a great game. How could it have gone wrong, you might be asking? Well, let's start things off by looking at the campaign. In the campaign, you play as Sergeant Shane Carpenter, a member of the world-ruling Mantle Corporation, whose private military company enhances their soldiers with a drug known as Nectar. The drug not only enhances the performance of the user, but also creates hallucinations. Shane and his fellow troops are deployed to South America to eliminate a group of rebels calling themselves the Promise Hand, led by Gabriel Marino, also known as Skincoat. When his Nectar administrator fails to function, he becomes horrified by the harsh realities of war, and then later on gets hunted down by his former comrades, and ultimately defects to the rebels. Now, I can at least give the game credit for its concept. I mean, playing as a soldier that's a part of a world-ruling corporation's private military that uses a sketchy drug to enhance its troops sounds pretty interesting, but unfortunately, this concept was very poorly executed. The main character is generic and bland, with the most tamed name you could have in an edgy gym bro shooter like this. Also, I don't know if this is sad or funny, but this actually makes him my favorite character, just because he's the only Mantle soldier that isn't a complete psychopath with a bro dude personality.
You fucking we're trying to free you people. No one steals our meds. Go buy yourself a
Mantle's private military is like that one frat house the university is ashamed of. They just say and do the dumbest shit.
But I'd still love to hear him say it. Go suck some balls, skin coat.
Yeah, wait till we get our hands on him. We'll fucking show him what our fucking people think about skinning people and fucking eating people. Yeah!
And that little clip also gives you an idea of the quality of writing they brought to the table. As for the levels of the campaign, they can only be described as extremely dull and forgettable. It feels as though there's only a few themes to the environments: jungle, industrial wasteland, and swamp, which this wouldn't bother me if they were actually fun. But the worst part is, none of the levels are all too fun to play in. The layout of the levels feel more restricted than Halo, with quite a few linear layouts and some slightly open areas that are pretty barren, with nothing exciting to look at outside of the area the devs wanted people to go in order to progress the story. Now let's talk about combat. Combat is just sort of mid, to be honest. I don't really have much to say other than the Nectar system feels like a cheap gimmick. It doesn't add much to the experience besides the ability to see enemies easier, and the faking death mechanic was an unnecessary addition I never found myself using. Seriously, if you just remove these two features, the game winds up playing like Halo but not as smooth. Also, during the first driving section, HAZE decided to glitch out, so every time I spawned at this checkpoint, my character would be on fire and die. So I had to start the level all over. And then once I restarted the mission, I had a fellow Mantle soldier open fire on me after I crashed the vehicle. Thanks, game. This all becomes very disappointing when you remember this was given the title Halo Killer. I mean, how is HAZE supposed to compete with Halo, let alone outshine it, if the gameplay feels the same or worse than Combat Evolved? Also, can we just talk about the cutscenes for a second? Cause oh boy, are they garbage. After playing through the game, I can only place the cutscenes into 3 categories. Either it's so bad, it's funny, uncomfortable / awkward, and just straight up boring. This is mainly due to some of the cutscenes having pauses that are just a little too long, and the fact that they put all the poor writing and voice acting front and center, as well as the crusty visuals.
Hey. I'm here. Hey. Hey. I'm here. Are you hurt? Look at me. Can you see me? Yeah, I see you.
I don't want his fucking coat on me!
Now, unfortunately, the multiplayer is completely and utterly dead, so I wasn't able to get the true HAZE multiplayer experience. But I was still able to play the local multiplayer and watch some online gameplay, so I think I can still competently talk about PvP for the most part. Like there's really much to talk about anyway. Online PvP has 3 game modes, 2 of which being Team Deathmatch and Deathmatch, which is kinda sad if I'm being honest. Like, my god, even the original Halo had 5 game modes, and that was released in 2001. Now, there is one positive to online PvP, and that's the 3rd mode, Team Assault, which is a really interesting game mode. It tasks both sides with a set of objectives that they can carry out in any arrangement in order to win the game, which is actually extremely cool and offers a decent amount of replayability, having non-linear objectives to keep the mode fresh, because players will have to constantly adjust their tactics in order to defeat the enemy team. After watching gameplay of this mode, I can totally see why someone would pop this game in every once in a while to play the online PvP around the time after release. But sadly, the online is completely dead, meaning Team Assault is no longer playable as it was only available through Demonware servers. Now you're probably asking, well, what about local PvP? Local PvP only has 6 maps and 2 game modes, making it a much more dumbed down experience compared to the online, and offers the ability to add up to 15 AI into matches, which could have been a really good way to experience the online when the game died. But unfortunately, these bots are as brainless as a bag of rocks. Just remove the I in AI and that's what you get in HAZE. I played a deathmatch where all I had to do to win was stand on a building and snipe. None of the bots even shot at me. Hell, some of them didn't even look in my direction when I started shooting at them. And the maps, oh god, the maps. Played on one map, which was literally just a military base surrounded by a jungle. This map was so boring. The landscape side of the map was more of a plowed portion of the jungle with barely any cover. The spawns were absolutely terrible. I got spawn killed multiple times by AI that had rocket launchers because apparently that's the only way an AI can kill you in this game. And I didn't know what direction they were trying to go for with this map. Was it meant for free-for-all? Was it meant for TDM? And why would you make a mode-specific map for all modes? That just doesn't add up to me. And this is sort of the running theme of each multiplayer map. I don't know what mode I should be playing when I pick each map. And for that reason alone, I can't recommend revisiting local PvP. And the fact that online PvP is dead, I definitely can't recommend that. So, unfortunately, multiplayer is a bust as well. In conclusion, HAZE, well, was pretty bad. After playing it, I'm not really surprised that this was FreeRadical's last game. The campaign is short with less than stellar visuals, even for the time it released. The story, while having an interesting concept, failed to execute said concept in a way that would provide an engaging experience. And the multiplayer, while having an amazing mode like Team Assault, it unfortunately fell short due to lack of game modes, terrible map design, and the local PvP being a more dumbed down version of the online experience. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed whatever this video was. I don't really want to do this type of video anymore. I do want to lean more towards the Halo Reach video style of talk about games and how I edit. So that's what I'm going to be doing moving forward. Also, sorry this took so long. I was trying to tackle multiple videos at once and it just wound up being this one got done the fastest, even though it wasn't that fast. And the other ones I have scripts made and gameplay footage captured for. So hopefully there isn't too long of a gap between each video, but it's still gonna take some time, obviously. And since we're here, and since you were so kind enough to watch the whole video, why not I just tell you what the next video is gonna be? The next video is going to be Battlefield 1, The Last Great Battlefield. It's gonna be a long one. I'm estimating at least 35 minutes, but it could be in the 40 to an hour. I honestly don't know. There's so much I have to say about the game. But anywho, if you liked the video, drop a like. And I noticed about 98% of y'all are not subscribed. So if you could do that for me, that'd be greatly appreciated. Also, leave a comment down below telling me, did you play HAZE? Did you enjoy it? Did you play Team Assault? Was it fun? Seriously, I'd love to know, because I don't know anyone who's played this game. But anywho, thank you guys so much for watching. More videos on the way. Thank you guys so much for the support you've given me. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.